there have been survivors of Jeffrey Epstein speaking at a press conference on Capitol Hill. They're calling for these case files, these documents to be released. And Thomas Massey, who is sponsoring a discharge petition to get the House to vote on releasing those documents, says he doesn't believe you're implicated in these files, but many of your friends and donors may be, and he says that's why the Justice Department is redacting them and slow-walking the release. Is the Justice Department protecting any friends or donors, sir?
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. You know, it reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied. From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president. Even if you look at D.C. right now, D.C., it's a totally safe zone. It's called a safe zone. That's a term. It's a term of art. It's a safe zone because it's very safe. You can walk down the street now and nothing's going to happen. No crime, no murders, no nothing. Because we had a lot of problems with certain places, and we still do. All run by Democrats, or for the most part run by Democrats. So what they're trying to do with the Epstein hoax is get people to talk about that instead of speaking about the tremendous success like ending 7 wars. Sure. I ended 7 wars. Nobody's going to talk about because they're going to talk about the Epstein whatever. Sir, I understand that we were subpoenaed to give files, and I understand we've given thousands of pages of files. And I know that no matter what you do, it's going to keep going. And I think it's enough because I think we should talk about the greatness of our country and the success that we're having. I think we're probably having, according to what I read, even from 2 people in this room, we're having the most successful 8 months of any president ever. And that's what I want to talk about. That's what we should be talking about, not the Epstein hoax.
To Capitol Hill tonight, where the House Oversight Committee released files related to Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking. More than 30,000 pages and videos the committee has received from the Justice Department so far in response to a recent subpoena. But the document dropped tonight contains mostly information, a large chunk of it already publicly known or available.
It's like only 1% of what they possess. And 97% of it's already been released. I'm afraid this is going to be like Pam Bondi's binders. People are going to dig into it and say there's nothing new here.
Kentucky Republican Thomas Massey there filed a discharge petition today that would force a vote on the more broader release of the DOJ's files on Epstein. That move would then sidestep House Speaker Mike Johnson, who has recently tried to suppress this bipartisan effort.
But we had to do it in a way that would protect the innocent victims of these horrific crimes. We have achieved that now. We have a resolution that will accomplish that desired end. And what people want to do with this for political purposes, to me, is really just shameful.
Oversight Committee members met with some of Epstein's survivors today on Capitol Hill, and tomorrow, some of those survivors are expected to speak publicly for the very first time.
And just hours from now, we could hear from the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, who's accused of sex trafficking underage girls. Those victims are expected to address the public on the steps of Capitol Hill. And if it's anything like yesterday, what they say could be both emotional and also disturbing. Here's why. We have new video out this morning of lawmakers walking out. You can see Nancy Mace walking out of a hearing after hearing from Epstein survivors. Now, you're looking at Republican Nancy Mace right back here. You can see she walked past the media, appears to be wiping away tears. She later told the media she had a panic attack after hearing from Epstein's victims. The congressional panel publishing more than 33,000 pages of flight logs, jail surveillance, video court filings, emails, and other recordings. However, this dump of documents contained information that was mostly already available. This latest information, Kentucky Republican Thomas Massey filed a discharge petition. It would force a vote on the more broader release of the DOJ's file on Epstein. The move would also cut House Speaker Mike Johnson essentially out of this process, who's accused of trying to bury the bipartisan effort. Now, Johnson called the full court press to release the files shameful and not protective of the victims. Now, we're watching all of this, waiting for the statements from the victims to come down from the steps of the Capitol. We'll bring it to you once it comes in.
Angela, thank you. A victim who says she was trafficked by sex predator Jeffrey Epstein spoke outside Capitol Hill with her lawyer, revealing that Donald Trump had provided evidence against Epstein years ago.
He helped me. He got on the phone. He told me things that were helping our investigation. Now, our investigation wasn't looking into him, but he was helping us then. He didn't treat this as a hoax.
And earlier this week, the administration did release more than 30,000 new documents related to the case. Still, lawmakers have continued to campaign for more files to be released. President Trump says it's a Democratic hoax that never ends.
Survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's sexual abuse and trafficking speaking out publicly, many of them for the very first time, all united with a common message here, calling on Congress to act.
Congress must choose. Will you continue to protect predators, or will you finally protect survivors?
If this Congress is serious about justice, then let this moment also affirm your commitment to provide victims with the legal aid they need to confront abusers.
In the Oval Office today, President Donald Trump dismissing calls to release all of the files. Many survivors responding to Trump's hoax claim today, urging him to stand with them and support transparency and truth. As of tonight, GOP Rep. Thomas Massie and House Democrat Ro Khanna are 2 votes shy, they say, of forcing House Speaker Mike Johnson to take the Epstein Files Transparency Act, this right here, to the full House chamber for a vote. But both say they are confident that will happen.
I'm here before you today as a survivor.
Survivors of accused underage sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein pleaded with Congress to act, asking for full transparency and a full Epstein file release from the Justice Department. A bipartisan group of House members has been pushing for the file release, led by Republican Thomas Massie and Democrat Ro Khanna. The two are trying to force a floor vote from House members on a bill requiring the DOJ to release all Epstein-related files. They'll need 218 signatures.
I hope my colleagues are watching this press conference. I want them to think, what if this was your sister? What if this was your daughter? When these survivors speak.
The House Oversight Committee released thousands of documents Tuesday night, including the missing minute video from outside of Epstein's prison cell on the night of his suicide. It led to conspiracy theories that he didn't actually kill himself, but the new clip provided no evidence of a plot or cover-up. Massie estimated 97% of the documents had already been publicly available, and they're not protecting the victims, but potentially the abusers and associates, according to Massie.
Well, the 3% that weren't public, that's 3% more than Joe Biden released when he was president. Look, President Trump is complying with our subpoena.
The president deflected questions about the news conference.
It's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had.
Meanwhile, victims say they'll be compiling their own documents.
Us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them.
It's a list that Georgia Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene says she'll read on the House floor if it comes to that. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.